Maeve. I'm here with Colin. We're working Knitwit Studios, and we're working on Bubble Up, which will be a Metroidvania light for casual gamers. And I'm going to just very, very quickly go over the outline of some of our plans here, and then just jump into the game to show things that have changed. So one thing that I'll show right away that we've added and we're working on improving is an intro cutscene. So I'm going to go ahead and play that now. So just cute little short cutscene there. Going to be adding more effects and fixing compression and other things like that. Let's see if it'll let me go to the next slide here. Sorry about that. So one of the things we want to focus on for this is a very fun, fast, casual feel. It won't be too difficult, but it won't be too easy either. There will be a lot of options for upgrades and such so that you can customize your experience. And here's just a quick overview of our current plans. So we're going to release by the May 31st deadline on Itch.io, Game Jolt, and Congregate. If you get additional funding or support, we will make a more complete version that is released on Steam. So this current version we're showing today does not yet have a final boss, but we will be adding a final boss by the May 31st deadline. And if we get further support, we may add more areas to explore, such as an ocean floor level. Again, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I want to jump into the game itself, but it'll be a single player game, pretty short, an hour or so, very fast, casual, a lot of replay options, since you can pick and choose what upgrades to take. We do have a current teaser trailer, which is still the alpha gameplay, so this we will be updating by the time we launch the game on May 31st. That way it's more accurate to current gameplay. I'm not going to show that here just since it is slightly older. And for the rest of this, I'm just going to page through. I'd encourage everyone who wants to see our pitch deck to go ahead and request me for the link, but we do have some story established. We have our core loop, stretch goals for gameplay, some gameplay highlights. I think the oxygen meter being your health in our game is really unique, and again, those optional upgrades will be great. And then, of course, marketing plan with, social media, trailers, and all that stuff, and then potential for Steam key giveaways if we make a more full game. So thank you from our team for looking over this, and I'm going to hand it off to Colin so you can see that actual gameplay here.
Yep. So Andrew, I'm about to start streaming. Let me know when I'm good to go. Okay, cool. All right, so this is the gameplay. So the reason why we showed the intro cutscene in the slideshows is because it was really hard to get it caught on stream. So how it works is when you don't have a save file, this is the screen you see. You see a new game, you get to see the intro cutscene, and then when you click new game, you see what happens after Money and the captain. Money is the name of the monkey. When both him and the captain sync, you see him come out of the crates, and then gameplay starts. And this is kind of our mini tutorial. We really wanted our tutorial to not use words, so there's a lot of icons and visual cues. This beginning area is a really tight storage area, and it shows you your first bubble. And you walk up here, you can see your first locked door. So that kind of tells you, okay, this game has locked doors. It kind of gives you the brief movement, and then you can get a feel for how this oxygen meter on the bottom left works. So I'm going to go ahead and unlock the door. And we had a debate on how we wanted to do doors. We went with the Mario approach. And that's kind of when we say casual, we're going for more of the Mario casual, where Ava said, where it's easy to pick up, hard to master. And then, of course, the theme we really liked from our Game Jam prototype was loot. So throughout this ship, there's plenty of loot. You have this giant plunder bag. You're going to pick up coins, sapphires, emeralds, rubies. And then that key we picked up in the tutorial, you can see there on the bottom left. So that's kind of the big thing is kind of fun greed and just take it at your own pace. You can see right now money's going pretty slow. So the very first pickup item is right here is actually the jetpack. And then you can see more tutorial cues. This speeds you up, but it definitely eats up oxygen. So that's kind of the trade-off is the oxygen's your health, it's your jetpack, and then, well, I guess those are the two big things. Another thing we really liked from, and this is what happens when you're low on oxygen, is this cool chromatic effect. So, and then the music changes too. But we really wanted to, we actually want to go more into the bubbles. So we created boost bubbles. So that's just kind of like an optional, like, hey, I want to go fast or I don't want to go fast. And they also give you a little oxygen. You can also change what direction they go in. We're going to add a buffer. It's kind of quick, that timing. But we're going to add probably a couple more bubbles, like one bubble where it always goes in one direction and these bubbles kind of go in any direction. And another thing that's always fun about Metroidvanias is secrets and blocked entrances. So here's an example of, well, what do I do here? I can't do anything. And then an example of like little tiny secrets is like, hey, if you explore in different areas, look, now you got an emerald. I can keep talking, Andrew. I'm going to keep going, but please stop me if I ever hit time. I'm going to keep going through the game and keep talking about things. But the next thing is, again, another bubble, but this is Money's first weapon is a hook. So you can see now on his little, like, that golden part, there's now or the handle, there's now a hook. And then you can see now your first enemies are these, and you can see in here, there's breakable walls. So if we wanted to, we can go back to that other area and break that wall. And kind of the fun in this game is breaking things, exploring things. And we said Metroidvania, but it's really lighthearted. Like that right there is just everything's cartoony, very visual. As more people play, we may even make it so that you have way more oxygen, but we made sure that there was plenty of bubbles, plenty of things to like, so that if you want to take your time, you don't have to go super fast. But if you want to go fast, you can speed right through it. So I'm going to keep on going and show more things like spikes. 2 minutes? Okay, cool. I may even pass out here. Nope, made it just in time. So I'll show the next area, which is up here. Is the wind. So another cool thing is we want to make each area, especially as we put more polish, very unique with both its obstacles and its layout. So like kitchen, there's a lot of kitchenware. This room is like, oh, it's a little busted up. There's like wind, and there's secrets over here if you want to explore it. So this wind right here that's making it really tough, but with the jetpack, luckily you can kind of just go through. And again, this is like a little secret area, spoiler alert. But there's two things. There's treasure chests, so more loot, and then oxygen upgrades. So it definitely helps in demonstration purposes, so I don't embarrassingly pass out. But I'm going to keep going through, and I'm going to show one of the another unique area, which is the kitchen. So to get through there is, I would say this is the first tough zone. So the game has had plenty of time to like, you can go, like there's very little enemies, especially in the first room, it was just bedrooms. But this one is where it gets tricky with the wind, the spikes. Hey, I really want that coin. Wow, that's really tough. And then little pufferfish guy right there. So this next area is the kitchen. And this is what we were talking about, is like having unique obstacles. So right off the bat, like this is unique just for this room, is the kitchenware. There's more secrets. And then over here, classic Metroidvania, but there's a locked door, but I haven't seen this key. So if I keep playing, I will find this key, but I think I only have like a minute, 30 seconds. So I'll just kind of go up here and show some of Ava's art. Ava did all the artwork and I did all the game development. But this, I find this very funny, charming, and cute, but like the artwork of the captain. Actually, I can probably even show the captain. Oh, nope, I don't have the key. Well, the captain's in here. And there's weapon upgrades, so you can get like a pirate sword. And then, so we went away from having stat upgrades and went with, hey, it's really fun to collect things. Let's keep collecting things. And then that's how you get upgrades. And then I can show all the loot I've gotten so far. So a good bit, the bag's halfway full. So if you want to go right through the game, you don't care about the loot, you can do that. But if you're into collectathons, this game has plenty of things to collect. And we're just going to keep adding things to collect. And that's really it for gameplay. I'm going to stop there, Andrew, but definitely open up to questions.
Yeah, perfect. Right on time. Looks great. I want those gems, but that's just me. No, it's not just me. It's most of the folks in chat, too. Marissa Tontavitong says, Pufferfish! JY says, yeah, this is great. A lot of progress since I saw the demo. Rachel LaCroix, who's been running the Best in Georgia contest for the Georgia Game Developers Association, says, love the secret door. I did not find that when I played. Hats on YouTube says, Sonic Panic theme is needed. I think that's when you were running out of oxygen.
Yeah, I'll show it right here.
Everything was going black. Yeah, I love the music, but any thought on doing it at all to fit the mood? Or will it just stay the same?
That's a great question. So we do have a musician that we've worked with sparingly. There is an interesting piece, like a staccato, like violin piece that plays in the captain's room. But yeah, right now there's only two music movements. It's this song, which I've heard, of course, a million times while developing, but also the low oxygen. But every zone will have its own theme. So this is the first level is the ship, because the idea is you went down with the ship. Now let's get out of the ship. And when you get out of the ship, you will be in the deep, dark ocean, and you'll find even more areas to explore. That's in the full release. In our quick May 31st release, it's going to get out of the ship, and your first boss. And I don't want to spoil that, but it'll be very large and menacingly, but also still have, of course, that cute aesthetic. Yeah, but we will add more themes. But yeah, right now it's 3 songs.
Very cool. Hats on YouTube says, giving me Donkey Kong Country PTSD. LOL.
Yep. the boost bubbles. Yeah, that big. In fact, when we were playtesting, I understand now why you have that buffer time in the barrel when you stay there for a little bit and then you launch. Because right now it just kind of takes you off, and so we're gonna add a little more buffer there, so you can take your, actually choose which direction the quote-unquote barrel shoots you, but instead of a barrel, it's a bubble.
Very cool. Lots of good plans. I love that you're going to have this on Congregate. We used to have more studios that would launch on Congregate, but I don't know anyone doing Congregate locally anymore. Talk to us about that. Why Congregate and what's involved?
So actually, our mentor, Jeff, he actually mentioned Congregate, and I was like, wow, I haven't heard Congregate in a while. Because I used to be, my first programming language was Flash. That was a big Flash game hub. And then GameStop bought it, and then it became like a GameStop product. But what really did it was, one, the art style really, it just kind of screams Flash. It has that vector art style. And 2, the way our experience currently works really well for all those websites you went to in the computer lab when you were in middle school and high school. Like, you just want a really quick, fun, short experience. So we thought of Congregate, Game Jolt, even Newgrounds. We're even going to release this on Newgrounds. And of course, itch.io, because those work really well for what I would say, what used to be Flash games. What this has that Flash game heart in it. So we were going to go on those sites. And then the game is free. But we were going to have a coffee or a Ko-Fi. I think it's coffee. We're going to have a coffee and a lot of call to actions for donations. And what that will boil down to is, okay, we have support. Let's actually make this a full-fledged experience. But for now, it's going to be kind of like an hour experience by May 31st.
Very cool. So we got a good sense of what donations are like on itch. You'll get a tiny bit. I have no idea what it is with Congregate. Newgrounds also really takes me back. So I'll love to hear if you want to.
They're still kicking. I know we don't use G. This was made in Unity, but the G developed community, their game engine, they're big on Newgrounds, which is surprising. So
if you want to report back to us on how you do on donations, that'd be great.
For sure.
Love to hear how that works for you.
It makes us feel better too, because it's like, I didn't want to have a 30-45 minute game and then put a $1.99 price tag on it. But if we had that support, we would definitely make it a full game, and then I totally would love to make it a $1.99. Last time when we talked, that's what we pitched was a $1.99 on Steam. We're gonna wait on that until we have more support, and we put a lot more work into it. So, but yeah, that's the plan.
Sounds good. More comments from online. Hat says, seriously though, it'd be nice to see more and more visual movement to the oxygen meter. Some change in the visual state or help draw the eye to that meter more often.
Yeah, we do have another sprite where he looks, upset and scared. That will be added on over there. It's just not implemented yet.
And it's the juice. The game definitely needs more juice. Like the feedback of oh, it's low, and when games do scale effects or tween effects, hey, look down here. Yeah, I totally agree. That's definitely something we'll add.
All right, JY says, yeah, also can play with fog shadows to make those light bulbs relevant.
Yeah, I took out shadows. I went with just additive lighting. just to add more contrast. But I didn't mess with shadows. I know with Mario, that's a classic thing. Play with darkness, like have a dark level and your visibility is limited. And we may do that, but it would just be for like certain zones, like deep dark in the ocean. So I thought about playing with light more, but I thought the shadows were distracting. But from a gameplay element, it would be interesting if a room was like completely dark and you only saw like the bubbles.
All right. Michael Revitt says, awesome work. Looking forward to the full release. The sea monkey is very cute. And
Thank you. That was Flava.
Last comment. Oh, Dreamchild on Twitch just said, oh, kawaii. Yeah. And Marissa Tantavitong says, maybe some donations with percentage towards ocean conservation to incentivize folk to donate or stream donation.
That's smart, yeah.
Oh,
we also, I thought about this because of like picking up objects and stuff, but we thought about like not only have coins, but like if there's any debris, you also pick it up, because it would have been really funny. Like this bag is just filled with like beds and random pillows and like random debris and stuff. So it's like money is just so greedy that he's picking up everything. So that was just
6-pack plastic.
The plastic thing, aluminum cans. He doesn't care. He picks it up. He picks it all up.
All right. Good stuff. All right. Everyone, that was Bubble Up. Give them applause. All teams have 15 minutes. That was good. We're going to bring you another team. Say bye, Bubble Up.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.